House to Home, presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
House to Home is coming at you like we never left, and I'm glad we're bringing in the big guns this week because in addition to Liz and Gino, who are, decidedly very, very well-read realtors in their own right, we have the president of the Guam Association of Realtors, Mr. Sean Blas. Sean, always a pleasure, and it has been a while since I've seen you, my friend.
Yes, great to have you, or great to have me back again. Thank you.
Okay, and Liz, this isn't just some random courtesy call and everything like that. We're actually bringing in Sean to address an issue that we brought up in this segment a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we talked about, military tenants that we place. And in order to place a military tenant in a particular home or condo, it has to be approved by the military housing office, and they have to pass inspection. So, that's understood. However, the housing office has come up with a number of additional items that kind of conflict with our local policy guidelines from the government of Guam. And I'll have Sean kind of go over that because some of it is conflicting and we have some issues with it. But if a local owner wants to rent to a military tenant, they have to comply, even if it's beyond reason. Sean.
Yep. Well, first off,
Sean, the honor is yours to deliver the message.
Thank you very much. I want to retract what I said and say it's glad to be back on here. So this thing that I'm going to read is actually dated May 2022, and it's from the Department of Navy. This is something that all realtors, I believe, received, plus most landlords too. And this came directly from Navy-based Guam. So one of the key things on this thing, and I want to say it's not all bad that we're going to be discussing. Some of the stuff is actually really good, such as all property owners must provide a business license, all units must be air conditioned in every room, that kind of thing. So those things we understand. The ones that we have, I guess a good word to use is concern with, are the following. So on paragraph number 9, it says, all lease agreements must include the following response time for maintenance issues. Mind you, if these things are not written in the lease agreement, in an addendum or anywhere on there, your lease won't be entertained by the military. These absolutely have to be on there. So the first one is priority 1, emergency. No water leaks, no power, partial power, no AC throughout, essential appliances, i.e. stove, refrigerator, not working, and toilet overflow. Response time within 1 hour, and or landlord must provide alternate living arrangements. And Liz, I know you're dying to talk already, but just hold your tongue just for a few more minutes here. B, priority 2, urgent. AC not cooling, no hot water, washer dryer not operational, response time within 4 hours, and complete repairs within 5 working days. I know, Jason, you want to talk now, but don't, just give me another minute. C, priority 3, routine. Clogged toilet if there is more than one, response within 7 days, and complete repairs within 30 calendar days. So those really are the only ones that that we have concern with, and it's mostly because of the response time, especially with priority 1 and priority 2. Jason, I'm not sure, if you've ever tried to call a repair person for air conditioning or a leak. I'm not going to throw any names in there, but I have my one go-to person, for plumbing that I call, and this guy normally is super duper quick. He'll come out normally within a day or two, but
not within an hour.
And not within an hour. No, I've never had that happen. And if anybody listening can have somebody that can come out in an hour every single time, please give us his name, and we promise we'll keep him busy.
You're gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly. And then especially AC. Liz and Gina, I personally cannot seem to get an AC person out to any job site earlier than a week these days. I'm not sure about you guys. What do you guys' experience these days?
Yeah, Gina, you it seems like Gina either just ate Kelligwin with a lot of lemon, or something happened because she's got like this rather sour expression. on her face, which I think sums up the sentiment of how you feel about this.
No, I'm listening with concentration. No, I mean, Sean, we've been able to get AC people out within the day, but obviously, depending on the situation, they cannot make the repair the same day. They usually can't. They come out, they assess, and then they say, okay, you know what we need parts or whatever, and then they'll address it within a few days. But the key for me is reason, right? Within reasonable time frame. I pride myself on the landlords that I work with. They go out of their way to be good landlords. They don't intentionally keep a repair person, not send a repair person out in time because they just want to do that. No. There's a couple of factors. They want to be good landlords. And the other thing is they don't want to be bothered. So the sooner they can get somebody to respond, of course, that's their motivation. You go and you respond, take care of it so the tenants don't have to call me back. But it's not reasonable to think that we can send somebody out within an hour. I challenge the Navy Housing. I want to find out on base, are they able to do this within an hour? It's not reasonable, but I guess, that for me, that's not a good example because we never want to say, well, is it like that there? I'm always of the mindset that everything has to be fair and balanced. I don't care if you're on the base or outside. This is about reasonableness, right?
And the other thing I think that we've come across is that, let's say you're a landlord, Jason, and you've got your business license, you got Public Works to go and do their inspection, you got the fire department that has passed you. So all these local entities have given you a green light. Yes, you pass, here's your business license, go forth and rent your unit. And then housing comes in and they don't approve of the fire department's inspection. And they add additional requirements, right, Sean, on top of that, where they would say, you need it. Let's say you're in, I don't know, was it Perlis Court or another complex on the 3rd floor? They've been in business.
So that was my listing at Helena Condo, 3rd floor, pre-existing unit. First, they made me change the window so that my window in that, the window in this particular rental unit was not big enough so that you can open the window and basically jump out. I mean, there's no escape ladder or anything. So the only thing you could do if you open that window was, if you wanted to exit, you'd have to jump out of the 3rd floor. So the first thing they said was, you need to replace the window. I explained this is an association. An owner cannot simply replace the window without going through the association. My first argument was this property is pre-existing. It's already been approved as a rental unit. My owner has a business license. That didn't work with them. They said, change the window. The owner changed the window. Then, Liz, I went through that process. The fire department, they still wouldn't take it. They wanted a fire sprinkler system installed, which is impossible if the unit's pre-existing. Yeah, so I went through that.
There's
So I guess
just recently, I think one of the realtors complained their unit is in an existing complex similar to that. Helena Condo was the 6th unit. Think of it if you had 30, 40, 50, 60 units and one unit does not pass because they want a sprinkler system. But the fire department says, hey, there's no problem, you pass. But they're insisting that you put in a sprinkler system. And it's difficult, like Gina said, you've got 30, 50, 60 units. And for everyone, the HOA to come in there and put a sprinkler system on the 3rd floor, it's not feasible.
Yeah.
There's so many repercussions, right, Sean?
Another good example is over at Leo Palace. The duplex is there. Of course, they have their business license. They've had their business license. In some of the bedrooms, they actually have to change the windows because they're saying that they opened the wrong way and that they're too small. Mind you, the fire department, passed it. They thought it was fine. The big thing that I think we want everybody to know is just that we're not necessarily complaining because of these issues, even though I think that they can be worked on. But I mean, you really do have to think about the landlord, the common landlord who's struggling paycheck to paycheck and is leasing this place out instead of living in it, just to make ends meet. And now we're asking them to go in there and change these windows. Mind you, third floor is not cheap, right? I mean, you have to get a special kind of ladder or machine. So, I mean, you change something that could be like a $500 job to possibly a $1,500 to $2,000 job to somebody who possibly might have to take out a loan just to get it done. These are not cheap. A lot of these things are not cheap.
Let me cut in there for a minute, Sean, because unfortunately we only got about a minute left. But
Sure.
As you are the president of GAR and everything like that, now you've established what the concern is and said that, in your opinion, it goes a little bit beyond what is reasonable and everything. Have you or the association tried to reach out to the Navy and tried to, have somewhat of a dialogue? Because, I mean, I'm not sure if negotiations would even be reasonable, considering it is the feds and everything like that. But have you tried to have a discussion with them to, express these concerns?
Yes, we have. Unfortunately, we weren't able to be granted an audience from the association directly. We did send in a liaison to go and talk to them, another realtor, to talk to them one by one, and she has base access. Still working that angle there, but at the moment we're still stuck with all of these requirements. But yeah, we've definitely tried.
Okay, so
it's
yeah, Liz,
unfortunate.
final word.
It's just unfortunate that our local owners who are law abiding, who've met the requirements of the government code and guidelines, are being, put through the ringer. It's like, hey, it's either you take us, if you want a military tenant, you have to comply, but it does not make any sense. Like Gina says, we're only asking stuff within reason. And if we can't help our owners, what good, is putting their property on the market? Then we have to shift the market to another tenant group. But a lot of them want a military tenant and they want to help out military tenants. Even the tenant themselves want to rent the unit, but they have to go elsewhere if it doesn't comply. So I guess the question is, if it's military housing, are they really helping their tenants? Are they really helping them or making it more difficult for them to find housing that they really want? Well,
guys, I think point well made, and hopefully next week maybe we'll follow up on this and see if maybe we can get some, as you said, Sean. Well, maybe we'll be granted an audience with our friends from the Navy to try and bring resolve to this. So, guys, thanks so much for this. This was very, very interesting.
Thank you, Jason.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. We're not done with this, so stay tuned.